Karnage Chronicles. Carnage with a K. Karnage, perhaps? This is a pretty good game that they got so far. I am going to point out, as you can see above the doorway there, that this is an alpha or early access version. I'm saying that not as an excuse, but actually as a kudos to the developers, because this is a pretty solid game as it is. It's got some features that a lot of final games, finished games, don't have, and you can kind of see the groundwork of where they're going with this, and I gotta say it looks pretty darn good. So know that it can change, or more than likely will change, and there'll be new additional features, hopefully good ones. One thing I want to point out is this is how you start the game in this, and I love me an interactive VR menu title screen, and that's exactly what this is. It's very straightforward in regards to, you know, multiplayer stuff's over there. You got your campaign stuff here. You got some tool tips over there. And this is probably one of the coolest things, is you leave the game by walking through a portal. So really cool stuff. Also, you've got a floating question mark here, which, guess what that does? Boom. Gives you just a quick tutorial of what you're doing. Now, one thing that is probably not, maybe if I can come around on it from the side, you'll see, obviously it's a flat video, but the icons on the menu screen are in 3D. They pop off of it. Little touches like that are really cool in VR. But yeah, this just kind of gives you lowdown. This is basically a dungeon crawler, action RPG dungeon crawler. So a first-person. I'm not gonna say Diablo because it's not anywhere near as fast-paced as that. But the premise, as far as going into a dungeon, killing things, getting loot, bringing it back, selling it, getting upgraded stuff, that whole thing is there. It's what the game's about. Now, I played a decent amount. Right now there are two classes. A warrior class, which is kind of your meathead, sword and board, shield, sword type character. And then there's also a roguish archer type who specializes in bows and daggers. I've been playing the warrior, as you can see. I'll go ahead and I'm going to probably continue as the warrior, just because the entry part is kind of long. There's kind of a lot of tutorial stuff, a lot of dialogue that would not be very fun to sit through as far as watching what I do for these things. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm not real far into it, and you'll get the idea of what's going on. So let's go ahead. Again, I love interactive title screens. So, actually, I guess I'll just show this part real quick. It's very basic. Choose your path. So, warrior or archer. That over there suggests there's probably going to be another class at some point, or maybe that one. It would make sense that based on these two that you have some magic or more magic based. That's, you know, generally how these types of games go when there's three characters. You got your slow, strong, you got your quick, agile, and then normally a glass cannon type. So I imagine one of these will be there in the future. I'll make sure I can get back. As you go through one of these doorways, then there's another set of doorways where you choose the difficulty. So again, it's one of those things that you don't normally get that in a normal game. I'll take a real quick second to go over. These environments are really, really well done. The detail in them is really good. There's a pretty decent amount of variety in them. You don't feel like you're seeing the same two plant models over and over and over. I'm wondering if the saved. It's actually, it looks like it's smooth scrolling, so I'm gonna try and change my Oh, you know what? I'll just try it like this. It's not too bad. Normally, when I do forward and backward movement, which I guess that's another thing we're talking about, comfort controls, this has got them all as far as whether you want to teleport, whether you want to do free range motion. The turning right now is on smooth for horizontal. Normally, this kind of gets me, the smooth turning. This isn't too bad right now, but normally I do the snap turning where it's kind of like set at 45, 90 degrees. I'm hoping also maybe it loads up with my game here. We'll see. So we're gonna go into the portal. Perhaps. There we go. Yep. So it picked up right where I left off the last time. Again, the artwork, you know, the level of detail. I mean, look at that. You get a shield with a glowing eye. That's pretty cool.
If only I had some sort of metal.
Oh, that guy talking. We'll get to him. So, your main, as far as the warrior class, this is going to be your main setup. There's other swords and shields, obviously. You are not melee only, though. You do have ranged options in the form of crossbows. Kind of a cool thing. You gotta crank it to load it. And there goes your shots. It's a pretty viable option, I'll say, in the sense that it's pretty strong. But well, when we get into fighting enemies, you'll see it's kind of maybe not the best option. But we'll go through here. So when you start off, you come in here, you talk to this guy who also is really cool. He's kind of your main tutorial type guy. He gives you story and background and all that stuff. But just his design, he kind of reminds me of like one of the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. I'll give you a hint in VR, if you ever like NPCs, don't ever get too close to them because you'll see they're always hollow. Kind of breaks the immersion there, so we won't do that, but we'll see what he has to say. Again, this is 3D. It's gonna float in here.
I must return to Zadar and herald your coming.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll rename me the Announcer. Merkwraith, once more you turn up unexpectedly and conveniently.
So you have dialogue choices. Oop.
My, someone is paying attention. But that can wait. Did you find the items I sent for? My masters will be so disappointed when I tell them the great Merkwraiths of legend are as thick as their empty helmets. Oh well. There is something you can do.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that right now. But he kind of invites you to, or greets you when you first get into the world, gives you a task, a quest to do, which I didn't finish yet, which is what he was talking about there. The items you can pick up, again, really good quality, high level of detail, especially for something that's just decorative. When you let go of it, it goes right back to where it was. So he's kind of your quest giver, lore updater type situation. This is one of my favorite things, the shop.
Welcome.
You got this little troll guy in here who's your merchant. Of course, you gotta like the nipple rings, I guess, for him. There's also this little box here. There's something in there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does, but it's locked up pretty tight. No touchy. Ooh. Ooh. Again, little bits of flavor like that are really cool. Just a little cool tip, how the market works. 3D. So the way the store is broken up is here's all your food. As you can imagine, that's healing items. You literally pick it up to buy it. The prices are conveniently displayed. This wing of the store, this left wing, is the archer rogue class type. So you can kind of touch a weapon, see the stats. Yeah. You can see the prices, again, clearly marked. And when you want to buy it, you pick it up. Lots of destructible items laying around. Sometimes there's money in them. So here's the different bows. I'm a warrior. Here's some armor, gloves, all that good stuff. Again, it's just a nice little touch that kind of puts you in that adventure mood, because you're actually going into a shop, you're actually picking up items to buy them. At some point you can get a backpack, which is pretty cool. Some magical items. So this is something we'll talk about later. Town Portal. If you've done Diablo or any of the other things like that, you know what those do. There's an important piece to using them, though, that we'll get to later. So here's the warrior side of the shop. You got all your swords and shields, your bigger armor, all that stuff, and your crossbows. So pretty obvious stuff that you don't really see in a lot of games, sadly. But as far as inventory, you look down, you got your belt here. Here's all your different things. This was kind of confusing to me at first, so if you're checking this video out to see if you like the game or not, this will save you some time. These two sets right here, these two circles, go together. You basically have 3 weapon loadouts, but they'll tell you in one of the tooltips, and I learned the hard way, that you want to keep one of them completely empty. And well, we'll go ahead and go over that now. That's because of this thing, the Town Portal. The way you use the Town Portal is you hold it with one hand, you grab it and pull it open with the other one. The problem with that is, let's say we're on this one, and you grab it, you can't pull it. So you can never use a Town Portal unless you have an empty slot for your weapons, because and it's not easy to disarm a weapon if you don't already have one to replace it with. Like, it's very hard to just take that out, unless there's a way that I'm just totally missing, which is possible. But, so this is the let me get rid of that. This is the in-town part of things. We'll hop back in my portal where I left off, assuming I can find it. Yep. So that portal's going to take me back to the dungeon where I left off last time. This is your room. This is your stash, or at least it will be someday. I'm guessing the stash and that backpack aren't things yet, because there's not a lot of variety in the weapons. It may very well be that the ones you saw back there in the store are the only ones. I've basically seen slightly upgraded versions of those as I've been going through the dungeon, so probably not a lot of variety there. Again, we have tooltips everywhere telling you how to do stuff. Very convenient, very nice. And we're gonna go ahead and go in. Okay. So, whoop. Oh yeah, see, that's nice. So that's a sword I dropped, and it's still here. Here's something else I dropped to make space. There's little creepy spider things crawling all around. But again, just kind of with this environment, you know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 little mushroom things. They're all different. They're glowy. They're moving around. You got chittering little spider type creatures over there. Let's see if maybe we can't show how bad of an aim we are with the crossbow. Oh, look at that. That'll never happen again. You can also, if I can find one. So this is like a save point. If you die, the last one of those you touch, you'll respawn. Whoop. Yeah. Still, spiders are more annoying than anything, but yeah, that's more like it. Just kind of got to be careful that you don't get too many of them at once. Chitter, 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 chitter. Whoop. But yeah, the graphics in this are really well done. The gameplay. I'm getting to some more actual combat here. Oh, there's some food. Whoa! What was that? It's been a... I hear footsteps. There was an arrow there. I don't know how I get in there. Felt like there was something trapped here. Well, that's a cool little thing there. Oh, well, another reason why you need a free hand. This is kind of a boss setup because you had the waypoint right back there. You had some food and stuff. You hear footsteps to the right. So I'm gonna go to the left. Oh, there he is. Whoa, whoa. Oh, this. They tell you that the harder you swing, the more damage you do. I find that's pretty accurate. You can also do that. The melee enemies are pretty good at dodging melee attacks. The ranged enemies are pretty good at dodging ranged attacks. I don't think I can pick this up. Nope. It'd be nice if I could pick it up to sell it, because it is a ranger type weapon, but... Dead enemies, ragdoll. I like that. I feel like I hear more footsteps. Oh, what's he got there? Got a note of some kind. So if we want to check our inventory, we just go in here and we can see notes. Pretty cool. We can drop them. Usually just lore type stuff, or if you want to sell them, you can do that too. Tells you the amount that it's worth. Most of these letters are crap. So the inventory management's a little bit wonky. Oh, here's how money appears in the world after you kill something. As an inventory is a little wonky if you're trying to do it really quick or in the middle of battle. Your health replenishes slowly, automatically. Your armor increases your health. There's your gold. You can see that. You got your compass down here. This is where I came in earlier. Alright. So I think it is. Yeah, I feel like it is. Oh. Yeah, I think this is the way I came in originally. And just circle back around. So we'll get some more environment looks here. Some money down there. So far I've seen about 4 different types of enemies. I've seen those little goblin archer types. I've seen melee goblin types, wolves, and the spiders. There was an archer up there. Got the treasure. Yes, this is the way I've already come. is happening? Yeah, it's a little creepy. Here's something's happening, I just don't know what. Ah. It's too far. Ugh. Alright, so we've been here before. I think it's safe to say. What was that? I just picked up all three of those papers I dropped before. You can sprint. Whoa! He's the boss. So there was some early access jank there when he was hitting me. It wasn't making any sounds or anything. Just kind of made the screen red. But yeah, that was a little bit scary. If you don't like spiders, don't play this game. Like if you really don't like spiders. And I feel like he should have dropped something, some kind. Seeing as how he was a boss. I don't really see anything though. And they stopped me from going in a direction after he spawned. Don't feel it was this way though. Yeah, this is back where I started. Some stupid letters. Well, maybe it was back there. Footsteps. So yeah, maybe a little opportunity here for wait, oh, what's that? I bet you that's my treasure there. Yeah. There we go. Some money. Skull. Stupid spider. There we go. Alright, so now we got, I believe, the stuff that we came for. So maybe like a, there's a journal here. So perhaps if I actually read, which is not my strong suit. So yeah, I think that's the thing we just picked up. Perhaps, yeah. An ornate skull. Okay, so yeah, I think we did what we came down here to do. So Normally I'd say use a town portal, get back, but they're kind of pricey. And I believe we're pretty close to the entrance. Memory serves correctly. Yeah. So we'll just go out the way we came. Whatever that was. I believe that was like a wolf fang, which is basically just money. Some cheese. Delicious cheese you find on a cave floor. Always a good idea to eat it. Yeah, this is where we came in. So we're going to work back to town. We're going to put our belt stuff away. They kind of tell you the story.
The entrance gaped like a mouth, and the Wyvern-scale mountains rose behind it like a serpentine spine. Darkness waited, hungry, patient, eager. A glorious secret lay within, like a gleaming lure dangling over a ravening maw.
Here's a quick way of how the dungeons work. We're gonna go back to town. Do some practice on your hits. These are the different worlds or levels. You have to unlock them. You probably progress the story. Maybe heading back the wrong way. Oh, right way. What do you got to say?
Merkrith. What? My, someone is paying attention. But that can wait. Did you find the items I sent for?
Yep, okay.
Really? Let me have a look.
Oh, so this is where I'm gonna give him this thing.
Good. I cannot wait to take this back to my laboratory.
Take that.
There is something you can do. Not for me, but for the Magi whom I serve. It is what I came to do,
It's good
but
voice
found
acting.
that I cannot. At least not without risking harm to the shell that holds my consciousness. Do this task, and I will begin filling the void that is your memory. A vortex has gathered in these mountains. You may have seen it when you passed through the open areas of the Wyvern scale. From the looks of it, it's hovering over an old structure in the Draconian Sea.
Go
The
on.
vortex seems to be fueled by some magical force, which wouldn't just kindle by accident. This either points
This
to
is a
a
good
very
thing to have.
powerful magus, or something more. Find out who.
There. No spoilers then. So yeah, basically I completed a quest. I got a reward. I'll go over the equipment is kind of what you would expect based on how the inventory was. You pick it up, you put it on, and then that's how you equip stuff. You can have 2 rings, a necklace, a chest piece, helmet, and gloves. Again, those were your weapons. These are basically for anything else. This is all just stuff you sell back. Well, not all of it, but like this one. But yeah, it's really good. Like I said, here's our options if we wanted to go change any of that good stuff. I will go over these real quick. Again, I mentioned you can have pretty much all your different movement, comfort level, all that stuff. I have to say, I usually, yeah. See, now it's back up to the snap. But even when it was smooth, that I usually can't do smooth horizontal. This was fine though. So I just really like the interact. They went the whole 3D VR thing. They did it. If it made sense to do it, they did it, and they did it well. Which, considering again that this is an alpha, early access, whatever you want to call it, well done. This has a lot more polish and features and things that I've seen in other games that have been released completely. I just can't get over stuff like this. Like, just very simple things like, hey, here's an item on a table, you pick it up when you want to buy it. Little touches like that go a long way, for me at least. I don't know. Maybe for you, your mileage will vary, but I like it. Karnage Chronicles. There's a lot more combat involved. I had just started, and apparently towards the really.
Bye bye. No problems. Bye. Hello.
But I had started pretty far through that dungeon. But you get the idea. You go to the dungeon, you bring the stuff back, you sell it, you buy better stuff, you go into the harder dungeon. It's a good loot for RPGs. But Karnage Chronicles, definitely check it out. Probably the best action RPG I've played outside of Skyrim in VR. So, and I guess maybe Fallout 4. That's not really the same ilk, but yeah, this is right up there with them.